June 29th, 1941. Last week, Army Group Center achieved a spectacular operational victory by nearly completely surrounding the Soviet Western Front and by establishing a bridgehead over the Dwina River. The astonishing speed of the German advance, on one hand, caught the Soviets completely by surprise, forcing them to redeploy their strategic reserves in an attempt to prevent the Germans from crossing the Dnieper. On the other hand, this advance is starting to give the Germans quite some headaches. As the panzers have plunged deeper and deeper into the enemy territory, the footborne infantry was still busy fighting and cleansing and shrinking the Byalistok-Minsk pocket. So, what should the panzer generals do? Shall they wait for the infantry to catch up and the supplies to arrive? Or shall they just try their luck? Well, this week, Hoth and Guderian go for the latter. And if last week they have nearly completely annihilated the Soviet Western Front, this week they smash through the Soviet lines once again, they surround the Soviet reserves, and they capture Vitebsk, Mogilev, and Smolensk. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of the second week of Operation Barbarossa, in which, we have a look at Army Group Center. Army Group Center had basically two tasks. The first one was to shrink the pocket of Byalistok-Minsk, which, even though it was already relatively small, because in the first week the 9th Army took control of Grodno and Byalistok, it was actually still pretty large. And even though a big chunk of my infantry divisions still retained their very high amount of CPPs, I decided not to temporarily motorize those divisions, even though I also had a decent amount of vehicles in my pool, because I thought this would have been just simply too gamey. And by not temporarily motorizing my infantry divisions, I realized that the task of clearing out the Byalistok-Minsk pocket turned out to be more time-consuming than my expectations. In my plans, I wanted to clear the pocket within this turn, but then realized that no, I needed ideally one extra turn to completely secure all my rear guard hexes, let's say. And also, one thing that I noticed, and that was kind of unexpected for me, was that despite having secured the railway line between Minsk and Brest, my FBD-3 did have some problems in repairing the railways in those hexes, which are kind of difficult to traverse, and this kind of delayed my plans to bring the forward supply bases to Minsk by the end of the third week. And I don't know how much this will impact the advance of the panzers, but already this didn't look good to me. And also, a second thing that I wanted to mention already in the previous episode, but I didn't have time to do it, was the reassignment of units to different headquarters. Now, normally the veteran players of War in the East 2 will tell you on the forum not to do it. I tell you to do it at the end of the movement phase. Why is this? Because if you change a headquarters during the battle, the new unit will have some penalties, let's say, in passing the leader check to commit, for instance, the support units into battle. While if you change the headquarters at the end of the ground movement phase, or anyway at the end of or when you have moved your unit, nothing happens, because on the next turn it will be like a new week and a new thing, a new episode, new everything, and there is absolutely no penalty. And actually, I really invite you folks to adjust the headquarters based on the distance. You really want to have as many, ideally all of your units, within command range, so within 5 axes of every HQ. And if you see that the original HQ is now too far away or too out of range, because maybe you have attached, like in the case of Guderian's 2nd Panzer Group, you have some footborne infantry attached to the motorized army corps, and of course the motorized army corps have to stay close to the panzers. Just detach your infantry and attach it somewhere else. At the end, of course, when you have moved your infantry divisions, yeah, because otherwise it makes no sense. And then, yeah, so having said this, I mean, I was like, okay, sure. The recon spotted this line stretching from the Dvina around Vitebsk in front of Smolensk through Orsha, Mogilev, and I think south, even deeper south. And then I said, okay, fine. The Das Reich still has plenty of CVP, so the Das Reich will lead the way, and the Das Reich gained the first bridgehead over the Dnieper, and then it paved the way for the remaining panzer divisions of Guderian's 2nd Panzer Group. I also want to say as one small comment here. This was the very first time I have seen the Red Army deploying one continuous line from north of Vitebsk down south to Orsha. Because in every single previous attempt, somehow the Red Army, or I would say the Soviet AI, liked to surround the 12th Panzer Division, the one which is immediately southeast of Vitebsk, and then it will leave like enormous gaps between Orsha and Bobruisk. Like, imagine 6 or 7 hexes completely empty, and I felt like it was kind of almost like cheating by just sending my panzers into this open enormous gap. And when the recon phase ended, was, I mean, when the air execution phase ended, and I saw that the AI somehow had this continuous line, I was like, oh my god. Finally, this is the... I was lucky to record this episode for the Grand Campaign, and I was happy to see that the AI reacted differently this time compared to all of the other previous times. And still, anyway, yeah, as you've seen, I've sent the 2nd Panzer Group to secure the right wing of the Vitebsk, Smolensk, and Mogilev pocket. And yes, I had to regiment some units to prevent the Soviets from escaping this pocket. And I've sent at the same time Hoth's 3rd Panzer Group to, on one hand, to surround, to close this Minsk, the Smolensk pocket from the west, and I've sent, I don't know the name of the leader anymore, but the 39th Motorized Army Corps, I think it was General Lemesen, 39th Motorized Army Corps, northwards in the, let's say, in the path of von Manstein's 56th Motorized Army Corps to again surround all of the enemy units south west of Veliki Luki. And these again resulted in the formation of relatively 2 large pockets, and then, yeah, this motivated me even more to wipe him out within the next turn. And yeah, also I didn't say, but you might have seen it already since last week. I considerably reinforced Hoth's 3rd Panzer Group with 2 army corps, taken from the 9th Army, just to give Hoth the needed infantry to clear out the pockets and to open up breaches in the enemy lines, just for the future. And that was all for this episode, folks. As always, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I wish you all the best, and as always, stay tuned for one more episode, which will come soon, and in which we will have a look this time at the operations of Army Group South.